One of the longer, other than the new road trips, obviously, out to the West Coast, the Syracuse to Miami one, always a long flight down and back, and I know you guys got back late.
Yeah, definitely. It's the longest, 2:45, 3 hours flight time for us, and we got back around 2:30, close to 3 o'clock this morning.
On to the game. Unfortunately, a loss on the road at Miami. And I know we listened earlier to Coach Red's post-game comments, and obviously disappointed not only with the outcome, but and he mentioned it a couple of times, the effort, and really defensively, letting Miami put up 91 points was a sore spot with the Coach Red, I guess.
Yeah, definitely, and it was just one of those things from the very beginning of the game. It just felt like we just couldn't get a stop, and that's as a coach, that's like a uncomfortable feeling, and to sometimes you have moments where you go through it, but this was like from the very beginning, and again, as a coach, it's just so uncomfortable, and it was just one of those games where you play any defense, you win the game by double figures.
And it's easy when we're sitting listening to the game or watching the game to just get frustrated and go, stop it, stop. But why is that difficult? From the coaching standpoint, is it, as Coach Red said, is it all effort at that point, or is it something else? They're just not able to get it together.
First of all, can I hear that yell? Can I hear that yell again?
Did you hear that? To no stop.
Did you hear that, Coach?
Yeah. Hey, stop it! I mean, come on. Why can't you stop? Like when guys are at bars watching the game or at home watching the game, and you're a fan, like where your favorite team is playing well. You do some armchair.
I'm doing that on the bench. I'm yelling just like Gomez in that voice there. Come on, let's stop the game. But just aside, it's one again, like it's an uncomfortable feeling as a coach, and obviously, some of the part that really hurts you as a coach, in terms of how you're feeling about your team at that particular moment and stuff, is effort plays, and we didn't play desperate. They played desperate. They played like a team. They didn't play to lose. They were loose. They gave the effort that was needed, and obviously at some points of the game, we just didn't. We didn't play that way, and when you don't play that way against a team that has nothing to lose and is playing desperate, that's what happens.
Griff, those games that you play and you just feel like you having flow, everybody's, working together and it just feels right. And you play almost inspired. I know you personally have had those moments, how do you impart that? How do you try to help them find that feeling where it's flow and all of your skills just come to the top? I mean, there's skills there. What's going on?
Yeah. You know what? It should come from within, to be honest with you, Lisa, and obviously the circumstances that we're in right now in terms of having an opportunity to play some postseason, we gotta, win some of these games down the stretch here, and that's something as a coach, you would sit there and say, okay, the guys know the situation. Now it's time for you to go out there and execute and play that inspiring basketball that you're talking about, Lisa. But in some stretches we do, even like the Boston College game. To have that game going to triple overtime was kind of disheartening because that's a game that we should have won in regulation. Obviously we should have made some free throws down the stretch, but there was times where we had a lead, we had a 10-point lead, and we could have just, kept it there or increased our lead. But, when you give desperate teams opportunities, that's what happens. And we need to play just as desperate as anybody. And obviously, And stretches of the Boston College game, we didn't, and then pretty much the whole game against Miami, we didn't. So that's what happens, and you know, and the outcome, you know, you sit there and feel the way you feel this morning, you know, like, you know, like, man, we should have had that one, or man, we had to play better, you know, and that's the worst feeling to have.
Going back to the BC game, there was in one of the overtimes, I think, speaking of having that feeling of playing, you know, desperate, you guys were down, I think, by 7, but fought back and, you know, didn't lose focus and extended the game, ended up winning the game. So there are, like you said, Coach, there are moments where that happens. Yes,
yeah, you know, and you can't play in stretches. Like if you want to have the outcomes that you want to have, it has to become a 40-minute deal, and right now we're just not getting that as a team, and that's why we're having the outcomes that we have.
On to Saturday. Again, any conference game is a tough game, and it doesn't get any easier. North Carolina, and maybe not a typical North Carolina team that we're used to seeing over the years, but it's North Carolina, and the Tar Heels will be here 6 o'clock on Saturday night. When you look at North Carolina this season and recent games, what are you seeing?
Yeah, you know, they still got really good players. You know, they got the returning player of the year, ACC player, in R.J. Davis, Elliot Cadeau, who is a returning player from last year. They got talented freshmen. They're just not as big as they used to be, and the custom of what we're used to seeing from a North Carolina team. But again, it's just going to be another one of those games where if we don't come out and we don't play desperate, we're not going to like the outcome.
Well, Griff, as I know, it was a late night for you and a rough game, and good luck on Saturday. Go Orange and catch the action here, but we will check in again next Wednesday morning.
All right, thanks. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.